So if you were to bring the black share of wealth at least to the black share of the population, it would require an additional at least $10 trillion.
All right, we are back with the fifth installment of the infrastructure plan.
The fifth and final.
Yes, fifth and final. HR 3684. So let's do it. Title looks like is that five?
Is that 7?
7, yes, or 6. I think it's 6. Yeah, I think that's 6. Title 6.
Oh, you're starting at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Title 6. Federal Coordination of Minority Business Programs. Section 100601, General Duties. The Undersecretary may coordinate as consistent with law the plans, programs, and operations of the federal government that affect or may contribute to establishment, preservation, and strengthening of socially or economically disadvantaged business concerns. Section 100602, Participation of federal departments and agencies. The Undersecretary shall 1. Consult with other federal agencies and departments and appropriate to A. Develop policies, comprehensive plans, and specific program goals for the programs carried out under Subtitle B of the Title I and the Title 1 and the Title 3. B. Establish regular performance monitoring and reporting systems to ensure that goals established by the Undersecretary with respect to the implementation of the division are being achieved, and C. Evaluate the impact of federal support of socially or economically disadvantaged business concerns in achieving the objectives of this division. 2. Conduct a coordinated review of all proposed federal training and technical assistance activities in direct support of the programs carried out under Subtitle B of the Title 1 and Title 3 to ensure consistency with program goals and to avoid duplication, and 3. Convene for purposes of coordination meetings of the heads of such federal agencies and departments or their designees, the programs and activities of which may affect or contribute to the carrying out of this division. Title 7, Administrative Powers of the Agency, Miscellaneous Provisions. Section 100701, Administrative Powers. A. In general, in carrying out this division, the Undersecretary may 1. Adopt and use a seal for the agency, which shall be judiciously noticed. 2. Hold hearings, sit and act, and take testimony as the Undersecretary may determine to be necessary or appropriate to carry out this division. 3. Acquire in any lawful manner any property that the Undersecretary determines to be necessary or appropriate to carry out this division. 4. With the consent of another federal agency, enter into an agreement with that federal agency to utilize with or without reimbursement any service, equipment, personnel, or facility of that federal agency.
5. Coordinate with the heads of offices of small and disadvantaged business utilization of federal agencies. 6. Develop procedure under which the Undersecretary may evaluate the compliance of a recipient of assistance under this Act with the requirements of this Act. 7. de-obligate assistance provided under this act to a recipient that has demonstrated an insufficient level of performance with respect to the assistance or has engaged in wasteful or fraudulent spending. And 8, provide that a recipient of assistance under this act that has demonstrated an insufficient level of performance with respect to the assistance or has engaged in wasteful or fraudulent spending shall be ineligible to receive assistance under this act for a period determined by the Undersecretary. Consistent with the considerations under Section 180.865 of Title II Code of Federal Regulations or any successor regulation beginning on the date on which the Undersecretary makes the applicable finding. B. Use of property. 1. In general, subject to paragraph 2, in carrying out this division, the Undersecretary may, without cost except for cost of care and handling, allow any public sector entity or any recipient nonprofit organization for the purpose of the development of minority business enterprises to use any real or tangible personal property acquired by the agency in carrying out this division. 2. Terms, conditions, reservations, and restrictions. The Undersecretary may impose reasonable terms, conditions, reservations, and restrictions upon the use of any property under paragraph 1, Section 100702, Federal Assistance. A. In general, 1. Provision of federal assistance to carry out Sections 101, 102, and 103. A. The Undersecretary may provide federal assistance to public sector entities and private sector entities in the form of grants or cooperative agreements. 2. Notice, not later than 120 days after the date on which amounts are appropriated to carry out this section, the Undersecretary shall, in accordance with subsection B, broadly publish a statement regarding federal assistance that will or may be provided under paragraph 1 during the fiscal year for which those amounts are appropriated, including A. The actual or anticipated amount of federal assistance that will or may be made available. B. The types of federal assistance that will or may be made available. C. The manner in which federal assistance will be allocated among public sector entities and private sector entities as applicable. And D. The methodology used by the Undersecretary to make allocations under subparagraph C. 3. Consultation. The Undersecretary shall consult with public sector entities and private sector entities as applicable in deciding the amounts and types of federal assistance to make available under paragraph 1.
Publicity. In carrying out this section, the Undersecretary shall broadly publicize all opportunities for federal assistance available under this section, including through the means required under Section 116. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. I'm going off, right, for reading, just making my interjection right now, my 2 cents, to see how much publicity this is actually going to be like in terms of the public actually knowing about specifically this section. So we'll see. Section 100703, record keeping. A. In general, each recipient of assistance under this division shall keep such records as the Undersecretary shall prescribe, including records that fully disclose with respect to the assistance received by the recipient under this division. 1. The amount and nature of that assistance. 2. The disposition by the recipient of the proceeds of that assistance. 3. The total cost of the undertaking for which the assistance is given or used. 4. The amount and nature of the portion of the cost of the undertaking described in paragraph 3 that is supplied by a source other than the agency. 5. The return on investment as defined by the Undersecretary. And 6. Any other record that will facilitate an effective audit with respect to the assistance. B. Access by government officials. The Undersecretary, the Inspector General of the Department of Commerce, and the Comptroller General of the United States, or any duly authorized representative of any such individual, shall have access for the purpose of audit, investigation, and examination to any book, document, paper, record, or any other material of the agency or an MBDA business center. Section 100704, Review and Report by Comptroller General. Not later than 4 years after the date of enactment of this act, the Comptroller General of the United States shall 1. Conduct a thorough review of the programs carried out under this division, and 2. Submit to Congress a detailed report of the findings of the Comptroller General of the United States under the review carried out under paragraph 1, which shall include a. An evaluation of the effectiveness of the programs in achieving the purposes of this division. B. A description of any failure by any recipient of assistance under this division to comply with the requirements under this division. And C. Recommendations for any legislative or administrative action that should be taken to improve the achievement of the purposes of this division. Section 100705. Biannual reports, recommendations. A. Biannual report. Not later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this act and 90 days after the last day of each odd-numbered year thereafter, the Undersecretary shall submit to Congress and publish on the website of the agency a report of each activity of the agency carried out under this division during the period covered by the report. B. Recommendations. The Undersecretary shall periodically submit to Congress and the President recommendations for legislation or other actions that the Undersecretary determines to be necessary or appropriate to promote the purposes of this division.
All right, looks like we're in the home stretch here. Section 100706, separability. If a provision of this division or the application of a provision of this division to any person or circumstance is held by court or competent jurisdiction to be invalid, that judgment, 1, shall not affect, impair, or invalidate A, any other provision of this division, or B, the application of this division to any other person or circumstance, and 2, shall be confined in its operation to A, the provision of this division with respect to which the judgment is rendered, or B, the application of the provision of this division to each person or circumstance directly involved in the controversy in which the judgment is rendered. Section 100707, Executive Order 11625. The powers and duties of the agency shall be determined, 1, in accordance with the division and the requirements of this division, and 2, without regard to Executive Order 11625, 36 Fed Reg 19967, relating to prescribing additional arrangements for developing and coordinating a national program for minority business enterprise. Section 100708, authorization of appropriations. There are authorized to be appropriated under the Undersecretary 110 million for each of fiscal years 2021 through 2025 to carry out this division, of which 1, a majority shall be used in each such fiscal year to carry out the MBDA Business Center program under Subtitle B of Title I, including the component of the program relating to specialty centers, and 2, is that 20 million there shall be used in each such fiscal year to carry out Title III. Speaker of the House Representatives, Vice President of the United States, and President of the Senate. All right, so that is the minority section of the infrastructure bill there. And of course, that's a lot to unpack, family. So we're all going to have to do our due diligence in finding out who our local MBDA agencies are. In fact, ETM Media, we just went and put in a consultation request with our local MBDA agency to find out, where we could fit into getting some funding under this infrastructure bill.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see what they have to say.
Yeah, so that'll be a good place to start, family. Like I said, I know it's a lot to unpack, so find out who your local MBDA agency is and request a consultation so they can walk you through how to get that guap.
Yeah, hopefully, you'll be able to get some funding out of this infrastructure bill, depending on your business and what you do. There's a lot, especially if you're in construction and technology. There's going to be a lot of money allocated specifically for those particular industries. So I highly suggest for those people, once again, that are in those particular fields, definitely reach out to your MBDA centers and see if you can get involved.
Good luck, family.
So I think that's about it. Before we go, once again, check out. We have a lot going on right now, so my brain is like, a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, check out our Blacklisted on our YouTube page here. Appreciate that. If you haven't looked at that, once again, check out. We do have a GoFundMe. We'll put it in the video for our Reparations Now documentary, and please support. We greatly appreciate that. Hopefully we're going to be going into production in a few more months. Right now we're still planning some things out, trying to get some interviews and doing our other research, but it's going along quite nicely so far.
And as always, stay tuned for the next task force meeting, which is scheduled for January the 27th and 28th, and it will be streamed live right here on Emin the Mass Media YouTube channel. So,
yes. And please like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Hit that bell. We appreciate it.
Until next time, fam.
Till next time. Peace.